Hello everybody, Neto Pimenta from Spark to Finish, right here in our creative journey to talk about the 7 creative constants, the 7 C's, and today is Competence Sundays. Competence. Competence is about excellence, excellence is about mastery and self-mastery. This thing that we are pursuing, that we are already great at, that we want to get better at to become the best at, right? We already talked about clarity on Clarity Mondays, and that vision, that ultimate vision that we place for ourselves, that we designed for ourselves, that we see ourselves being, doing, becoming. That's what competence is all about. In order to become that, in order to achieve that, we must first become better at what we do right now, right? Because if there is a gap, if there is a bridge to be had, we are the bridge. The thing that gets us from here to there is not somebody, is not who we know, or any of those other things. All those other things obviously come into play, but opportunities and people that show up in our lives, if we are not ready, right? If we are not at the level of the opportunity, we either risk never having that door open to us again, failing so hard that that door closes, which is okay. We'll talk about failure and how to learn from it some other time, but learning from failure is also part of competence. But what I'm talking about here is on another level, is being great and being always in the pursuit of refinement and getting better at XYZ, so that when the opportunity arrives, you're ever better equipped to meet the challenge, to meet the ask, to meet the customer, to meet the new problem with a creative solution that either matches or supersedes it. So that's competence. That's what I talk about when I talk about competence. On day one, when we looked at point A, knowing that we are not at point Z anymore, and then we talked about XYZ, X being the things that we can do to 2X or 3X or 5X our acceleration, our time, and our evolution towards that ultimate goal. So that's what competence is about, the things that we do every day and the things that we do to get better at what we do. Right? Sounds a little bit convoluted. For example, this right here, me talking live while driving a car. Today is my 7th day doing this. I've never done this before. I know what to do when writing is concerned. I know what to do when even public speaking is concerned. I know what to do insofar as coaching, consultations, and everything that I'm already pretty good to great at, and then I'm mastering, have mastered, or I'm on the way to mastering. And by the way, you can never master anything as far as like a finished product. Mastery is the trajectory, the pursuit, the evolution. But back to this thing right here and now. I don't know how effective I am. I don't have a whole lot of followers. This is very early on, and I'm still gonna get better. I'm gonna be able to do this in less time, with more tools, more concise, in one take, which always is, but without fumbling and stumbling and so on. So right here, we're talking about competence, right? But to be doing that with a feedback loop of the engagement of the people that you're here to serve, your audience, your market, your clients, your customer. Because otherwise, mastery that we do in the confines of our home is great. Practice is always amazing, is what prepares us. But our readiness does not come from practice. Our readiness comes from being ready, from saying yes to every time we are asked, to every time there is an ask, and to be our best when our best is required. So that's what I'm talking about, competence. Because a lot of people, they want to wait for the job, the opportunity, the check to come, and then to meet that. So we're always, right, unhappy where we are, wish we were hired for things that a lot of times we're still underqualified for, because we haven't shown the proof of concept that says, yeah, I can do that. I've done that several times. I've done it for free. I've done for a low price point. I've done that in a gallery. I've done that in the theater. I've done that on the internet. I've done that on YouTube. And now I'm here to do on a bigger scale, right? You don't scale a business from 0 to a billion. The hardest thing is first from 0 to 1, and once you get to 1, then you can scale. So let's get to 1, let's refine our 1, and let's keep scaling even when we're not being asked to, and there's no real any result built in. We are doing for the doing to become better at the doing, so that when the doing is required, we're there to meet the challenge. That's what I'm talking about with competence. And today's Competence Sundays, if you have a day off, you have time to work, to practice where nobody's watching, to get better at whatever it is that you are doing, creating, being, becoming. Tomorrow we'll come back to clarity, and we'll talk about specificity, how we can get ever clearer, and what are practices, tools, and strategies that we can implement to sharpen that vision and bring it into focus ever more so. What are questions and such that can get us there? But today is all about competence and mastery.